G'day. I'm fairly new to beekeeping, but in doing my research, and like any other wild-eyed enthusiast, I noticed a couple of problems, and in making up my own hives and bee boxes and nucs and all that sort of stuff, I've come across a potential solution based around some YouTube videos by the Lazy Beekeeper, who one of his main bits of advice is to keep all your equipment the same size. So with a standard Langstroth box, okay, 10 frame deeps, I'll make up a box like that. The first thing you'll probably notice that's different about this box is the handles are on the end. Okay, I don't cut handles into the sides, right, basically because they get heavy. And the reason the Lazy Beekeeper was saying keep everything the same size, he was saying, well, maybe go for mediums rather than deeps and have all your brood and everything in mediums and so forth, so that your supers, your honey supers, are easier to lift. Okay, so when thinking about lifting, when you've got this amount of weight away from your body, having handles on the sides means that you've got all this weight over here pulling away, pulling down on your spine. So I put the handles on the side, okay, or on the end I should say, so that the weight being close to your body is easier to hold. Now, having said that, okay, it's best to have deeps for your brood. So for the rest of the hive, other than your honey supers, but I've noticed that the commercial guys have deeps, 10 frame deeps quite often for their honey supers as well, and they keep everything the same size, but of course they've all got bad backs, all right, or they've got lifting equipment and so on. So to get around that, and to get around a couple of other problems, like what happens when you've got some new queen cells and you want to do a split. You want to split into a nuc box, and your nuc box generally should be at least 4 frames of deep. So I came up with basically a nuc box, 4 frame nuc box that is for deeps, that you can actually use also as honey supers. Okay. Voila. Okay. I don't know what you guys are going to think of that, but you've got 4 frames of deep, because bees fill up deep frames better, more efficiently than they do the half size or ideal or whatever you want to call them, those different size depth frames, which means you're going to have to carry boxes of a different depth, frames of a different depth, obviously, and all your equipment's got to be changed around. But you can still use deeps in your supers if you use 2 of these, which with the handles on the side, easy to lift, close to the body. Right, 4 frames of honey. It's not going to weigh 30 kilos, okay, or 50 pounds. I think some of the guys are saying with 8 to 10 frame deeps. Okay, you can keep it close to your body when you're walking it around, but you can also use them as nuc boxes. All right, put the lid on. And without the lid, you can use a lid on the bottom, lid on the top. Someone's got a swarm, you wrap that up in bungee cord, make sure it's got a bit of ventilation, something like that. Okay, not enough bee space for the bees to get out, but they can get ventilated. Go pick up your swarm safely, have it in your car. All right, I recommend mosquito net around the whole thing if you're going to put it in an enclosed car. All right, nothing worse than angry bees loose in a car. All right, so there's my nuke box. Whack a hole in it, bit of mesh. It's a swarm trap hanging up in a tree. It's a swarm trap. All right. Okay, let's say you trap a swarm, or you pick up a new colony of bees in your 4-frame nuke. All right. Rather than having to disturb the bees yet again, right, which will set them back in the early stages, I use a slightly different baseboard, like so. Right, just a divided baseboard. All right, I've got a little thing there on the front. That's just for restricting openings. Okay, so I can effectively have on the same base, okay, 2 nukes. All right, and early on, I don't want robbers coming in, other bees robbing it, so I can restrict the entrance. I can open that out as they get stronger. If I've got a hive next to this one, I've got some queen cells, I want to do a split. All right, I've got an extra queen, I don't want them to kill each other. All right, put one frame in this side, one frame in this side, a bit of brood and pollen and so forth. Okay, I can develop 2 new colonies. All right, something happens to one of them. All right, I don't have to really disturb them unnecessarily. I can stack it. I can just put that whole box or these 2 boxes onto a normal bottom board. I haven't got one here. Okay, and it's just like pretty much an 8-frame bottom board, and I can put another 10-frame thing on top. So the main thing, remember that those dimensions are the same as a normal box put together. Okay, the amount of material that's required extra to making just a simple 10-frame box is basically these 2 bits of timber here. All right, that's about 1.1 meters of extra timber that you require to a 10-frame box. So if next time you're knocking together, you know, 10-frame box, maybe make up a pair of those. Got an interchangeable baseboard. Let me know what you think. I'll be interested to know. It's a multi-purpose, modular kind of system. You can also use as honey supers. Cheers.